What's going on, y'all? Your man Eric Wilson on a special night, Wednesday night, prior to the kickoff of the 2023-2024 NFL season. This is the night where we discuss not only our NFL MVPs, but also give you our Super Bowl predictions. And I give everybody on the squad one last opportunity to change their preseason prediction based on things that have happened, whether it be during preseason matchups, during camp, during practices, whatever the case may be. Because as you know, tomorrow, thank God, football is back. Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champions, facing the Detroit Lions in Arrowhead. We will delve out our picks tomorrow. But let me remind everybody where we have decided we were going to go this season. So let's start with the AFC West. Like I said, the defending Super Bowl champions. Here you can see what their record was last year versus how we feel they're going to be this year. Now, I don't really want to change any of my predictions because I feel like where I have these teams lined up is where I think they're going to fare, with the exception. I believe the Vegas Raiders may actually go down one. I don't feel like they are going to get 5 wins. Looking over their schedule, not really sure if they are going to. First off, we already know they're not going to contend in the AFC West. So I am actually going to change my pick from 5-12 with the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to drop them down to 4-13. So let me go ahead and welcome in my man, Forks Up, ASU Sun Devil. My brother had his new show today that he debuted today. Pitchfork Lunch, my man, Mike Carrot Tenuto's in the building. What's up, brother?
Actually, did it yesterday, but that's all right.
Oh, I'm
yesterday
sorry.
was the first. Today was the second. But either way, it's money. Yeah, wow, these are our picks, huh, for the West?
For the West. Do you want to change anything, Mike?
You know what? I know this will drive Ray crazy. I'm gonna change the Chargers to 12-5 and say they're outright division champs, kid.
Wow. Mike Carrot-Tenuto changing the LA Chargers to 12-5. All right, that's fair. That's fair. Let's go ahead and welcome in one of our guests that we have here tonight on the show. You've seen this brother once or twice before. Loves hanging out with us and love being in the comment section. The halftime show's own, Mr. Cortland Griffin's in the building. What's up, sir?
Oh, happy to be here. Couldn't miss it.
So let me ask you, even though you're not a part of this little group, but I may have to switch out the big guard for you, man, because we ain't seen the big guard in a minute. Um,
Wow. Call shots fired. He's gonna
hey,
be
man, when
pulling
I
up
go
on
down this
you.
list, you know what's consistent, Mike? Every week, you and I got our picks. I still ain't heard from the big guard, so that's all I'm saying. That's it.
Now
But
y'all ain't gonna have
Cortland,
y'all ain't gonna have Big Guard coming to get me.
oh, I already tell him to pull up. He already know to pull up. Let's go. I ain't scared. I ain't. Hey, as his man Avery Graves would say, career over. Okay, I'm about to pull his sports arena card. I got love for you, big guard, though I do. Just so you know. But Cortland, let me ask you really quick. When you see all of our preseason predictions, is there anything that sticks out to you with regard to maybe we're a little too generous or not generous enough when you look at these four teams?
I guess just when I look at, I think maybe so. It's not the orange one, right? It's not the orange one.
The orange one is what they did last season.
Right. Okay.
This is
So,
our prediction for yes.
um, now the only thing I'll say is Eric, like you was, I think he was a little too generous with the Broncos. That's it. Like, and Mike
Okay.
too, right? I think 10
Well,
and
look,
Ray.
well, Ray said 10-7.
Yeah, I said Ray as well, right? So, I just don't see this team being that good as far as what they have, right? KJ Hamler with a heart condition is gone. So you're depending on the rookie in the slot and Marvin Mims to man that spot. And then they lost Tim Patrick, who's a big part of this offense as well. So now Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, who I think Jerry Jeudy also went down or was injured, dealt with an injury. Cortland Sutton has had injury concerns throughout his career. So you're asking Russell Wilson, who I believe is a top 15 quarterback still, can't make him top 10. A top 15 quarterback to go out there and depend solely on the run game and maybe second and third string receivers. I don't care if it's Sean Payton. It could be Jesus Christ calling the plays out there. It ain't going to help the Broncos.
Don't bring Jesus into this.
It ain't going to help the Broncos.
Don't be doing that. Don't be bringing Jesus into this.
It ain't going to help the Broncos this year, man. And defense, as good as that defense is and can be on paper, it's just it just when you stack them up against that division and even the Raiders, right? It just ain't. It's not going to be enough. I think they're going to be I think they are five, maybe seven if the Raiders collapse, right? Like we think they will. A 5-7 team.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next division. That is the NFC West. And again, orange is what they did last year. This is where we predict them to be this year. And I'm keeping mine as far as where I have them. Because I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Rams this year just because we're not sure of what the look's going to be like now that OBJ is now in Baltimore. Can Cooper Kupp stay healthy? Matthew Stafford is going to be Matt Stafford. And we know as long as that offensive line, even though they don't have Andrew Whitmore anymore, as long as they can keep him upright, he going to get the ball out there. You know what? And I've never seen Matthew Stafford throw a team out of a game like we've said other quarterbacks have done. But I still give the nod to San Francisco, saying they win, even though I have them both at 11-6. I say San Francisco does win the division. Mike, any changes you want to make?
I mean, freaking obviously Bosa just got paid. Actually, both Bosa brothers. I think that they should take everybody out to drinks. Since they went to Ohio State, God knows they never went to class. They just went and drank and played football. But sorry, did I say that out loud? My bad.
But Mike's not bitter.
No. I mean, I just can't stand him. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. But I mean, Bosa just got paid. Cooper Kupp starting the season on the injured list. Man, I got the Rams at 9-8, huh?
You do.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are the second best team in the division. I mean, look, Josh Dobbs may have interned at NASA, and he is smart. I'll give him that. I mean, he does have an aerospace engineering degree. So, I mean, the Cardinals are 6-11. Maybe I'm too generous there.
Well, Well, they are your next door neighbor, so I mean,
Yeah,
you don't need them come knocking on your door.
true. Yeah, I just think somehow it'll be weird. Maybe Dobbs, I don't know, gets him a few victories. I just, you know what? I'm gonna switch theirs to 5-12 because
The Cardinals?
yeah,
Uh-oh. All right.
yeah, five
Mike,
and 12.
listen. Mike, I've been to your house. They is this is no pun intended. They are stones throw away from you, bruh.
I know, you see it from
Okay.
right off the freeway, but I just, I gotta. Maybe you were onto something. I mean, hell, Megan pulled a Cincinnati on him, went 2-15.
She did.
So
But see, here's the thing. Megan didn't even show up for that one. Megan just called and penciled that one. And Megan's like,
yeah,
Arizona Cardinals, 2-15. I was like, oh, okay, Megan. All right now. They
They
come find you at 806 in Amarillo.
that's true.
Cortland, when you look at this, aside from what we've done, and give me your thoughts on the NFC West and how you how you think we did.
The 49ers, I think they're 12-13 win team, so that's fair. A little low, 11-6, but anything can happen in the NFL. 9-8 is kind of low for the Seahawks. I think 10-7 is fair, and they could definitely go 11-6 too. Like they're going to be competitive this year. They went out and they loaded up, and the Cardinals are the worst team. Like not even just on paper, they are the worst team in the NFL thus far. Right? Like without
I would beg to differ on that one, but please, sir,
without even playing it down, and you can literally see that they're tanking. Like you can see it. They trade away Isaiah Simmons. They don't have. They're pretty much a bare bones rebuild, and you know what they're going for. They're going for either number 10 at UNC or number 13 at USC. Right? They're going for one of those guys, and one of those guys said he's probably not going. He'll probably stay at school if they the number one pick. But that's neither here nor there. I just think, the Cardinals are probably, I would say maybe anywhere between 2 and 4 win team. But that's about it, man. Like I think the Seahawks are going to be a way better team than people give credit for them.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep moving here tonight on the Sports Arena. Let's get to that next team, and we just did them 2 weeks ago, Mike. The AFC East.
Oh, Megan. I thought Megan and Ty put theirs in.
No, I ain't seen no picks. Where did picks come from? I ain't seen no picks.
Oh,
Look, Megan. Let me stop. Megan may have given us her AFC East picks. So while you and Cortland discuss this, I'm gonna go take a look real quick, and I'll be right back. Y'all go ahead and discuss this one.
I mean, Mike.
Look, the Jets at 10-7. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is good for 2 wins, definitely, and I think that defense is going to keep him in every game. I know that people are saying the offensive line, but it's not as bad as it was with Zach Wilson and/or Sam Darnold, who, everybody rips on Sam Darnold. The talent is there, Cortland. It's just the fact that the Jets ruined him. I mean, I don't think they fully went David Carr on him. I don't think they fully went David Carr and Texans on him, but it doesn't matter. I mean, look, Kyle Shanahan got him, named him a backup, and with a year or two with Kyle Shanahan, I know the clock's ticking on him. Does he really want to stay as a backup for 2 years? But I think he could be a starter again now that he's out there. But yeah, the Jets 10-7. I mean, the Pats at 8-9. I mean, of course, John's crazy about his Dolphins, but the Bills are still the best team in the division. And last I checked, Sean McDermott's still coaching, and they still play defense. And I think it was John that said, it's like, on defense. I mean, they re-signed Matt Milano last year, and Tre'Davious White got injured in an important stretch last year too, so he missed quite a few games. I mean, that's a shutdown corner right there. So, I mean, I like my pick. Look, I think the Dolphins and Jets could both end up at 10-7. I might lean a little more towards the Dolphins since John's not here, and I can say it without hearing any crap, of going 11-6, but I'm not changing it because I do know they're going to get just absolutely swamp stomped on Christmas Eve when the star rolls through town, and John's going to be crying. It's going to be like you got some coal in his stockings. Santa came and left coal in his stockings on Christmas Eve because the Cowboys are definitely stomping them there. That's going to be a great game. So it'll be a great game for me, not so much for John. But I like my picks. I like. Eric going 7-10 with the Pat. That's kind of like something I would do. But I went 8-9 for 500 because Belichick, coaching defense, not being able to stand the Pats.
I actually think Eric is spot on. I think Eric and Ray are probably a little bit closer to what I think the Patriots will be this year. John is, to me, way off. And I know that sounds crazy, right? Like a game to 2 games is way off. But Bill Belichick ain't coming out with just 5 wins, right? Like he's going to be somewhere. They're going to be, just because of the talent on this roster, they're going to be somewhere around 6 to 8 wins, right? I think they're going to be 7-10 and finish 4th in this division, just because I think the defense is going to win them some games. But the Dolphins, I just think people are bullish on the Dolphins. The one thing that the Dolphins don't have is the ability to stop the run. And that's one thing that 3 of these teams, regardless of what you think about
you said the ability to stop the run, because according to our guy Ray, and I love Ray, I'm not taking a shot at him, but running backs don't matter.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's running backs matter.
Eric knows why I did that.
I know exactly why. Yes.
Yeah, running backs matter. But here's the thing, right? The Dolphins have the inability to stop the run, and that could, again, I'll be the first person to say I could be wrong. They could come out and prove me wrong. But for all of the things that they put in place on that defense, for all of the secondary help that they went out and got, you still didn't reinforce the one thing that you need in a division where Damian Harris is still there, Ramondre Stevenson, Ezekiel Elliott is now here, Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall. These teams, though, as high-powered as these offenses can be on the outside, they can pound you up the middle as well. And the Dolphins are going to have to go to either New York and win a game, to New England and win a game, and also to Buffalo and win a game to probably even eclipse 10 to 11 wins. I don't see it happening. I think they're going to be a 9-8 team and barely scraping.
What I will say is if Tua is healthy, and that's what we discussed, and this has nothing to do with John. Listen, John is a rabid Miami Dolphins fan, Miami Heat fan, Baltimore Orioles fan. That's just who John is. And listen, I get it. His fandom sometimes supersedes his journalistic ability to be able to be unbiased. And sometimes you got to remind people who you are. And I totally respect that. That's why I love him. You know what I'm saying? I get that with John. But, Ray even saying that Miami could go 12-5, I think it's based on the precedent that Tua, it's a prove-it year for him. Right. And it's a prove-it year for can you be consistent and not have the injuries that you sustained last year? Because I truly feel if he even has one injury from last year to this year of the same magnitude, then someone needs to protect Tua from Tua. So I just have to say the reason why I gave them 10 was because I'm basing it on Tua being upright the entire season and looking at that schedule. And it's hard for me. What I am going to do, though, is I am going to flip my Jets pick and my Buffalo pick. I said Buffalo was going to go 10-7. I said the Jets are going to go 11-6. I am actually going to flip those two and say that Buffalo goes 11-6 and the Jets go 10-7. And that is, again, predicated on the fact that their first 6 games are going to be very truth-telling. Mm-hmm. And as much as I want them to be 4-2 coming out of those first 6 games, I just don't know how long it's going to take for the chemistry to begin to unfold in the Jets locker room. I know what that defense is going to do, and I know Aaron Rodgers can throw the ball, sling the ball better than most quarterbacks. But yes, you have Randall Cobb. Yes, you have Alan Lazard. Yes, you have Garrett Wilson. You've got your running backs, but you've got to be able to put it together. And it's going to take them at least a couple of weeks to get it together. That might be the reason why. So I am flip-flopping those picks.
So, Eric, a point of contention on that. I think that's the one thing, and I've heard that same take many times with the Jets, right? The chemistry. Right. What's the chemistry going to look like? Well, Aaron Rodgers has the benefit of only having or needing to have chemistry with one guy passing the ball, and that's Garrett Wilson. right? That's the only new face that he has. Outside of that, Nathaniel Hackett is the OC that he's been the most comfortable with, right? That's the reason why he campaigned to get him there. Alan Lazard is a guy that he wanted. He played with him last year. He was one of his go-to targets. Randall Cobb, one of his go-to targets, right? And then Randall Cobb left. I think he left for 2 years, 3 years. Then came right back to Green Bay, and now he's there with them in New York. The learning curve is going to be very, very short, right, for Aaron Rodgers. You may see a couple of off cue or miscue throws between him and Garrett Wilson. But I think outside of that, maybe outside of week 3, right, they're going to be clicking. But they're going to win based off of just talent alone. And that defense, like you said, is ridiculous. I think they're going to be top 3 this year.
But here's the thing, too. Like another thing that actually to add to your point, Cortland, is, I mean, signing Dalvin Cook, because obviously Breece Hall's injury, I mean, with the ACL, yes, I know he's listed first on the depth chart, but and yeah, I mean, it's a crash course for Dalvin Cook in the playbook. But when you look at it, I mean, you can bring Breece Hall back a little bit slower, because they're going to talk about like Dalvin Cook in Minnesota. Like, you rip on Kirk Cousins, but since that kid got in the league, to me now, he ain't a stiff armor like Derrick Henry throwing, grown men around like they're a Raggedy Ann doll, but he's the most violent runner between the tackles. And I said it to Eric. I mean, it's like
I'm still mad that he went to Minnesota and didn't come to Philly. I'm still mad about that one.
Add it to the list.
Y'all wasn't bad enough to get him that year, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, he fell to us. I listen to me. I was doing a live draft show, and Dalvin Cook fell to Philadelphia at 14, and we did not pick him up.
Of course not.
Who did y'all end up picking that year?
It was either Aguilar or Jalen Reagor, one of the two. No, Reagor was the Justin Jefferson.
Reagor was Justin Jefferson year.
Yeah, I think it was Nelson Aguilar. That's crazy.
But you look at, I mean, just again, the violent runner he is, and yeah, he's got to get used to the offense, and I mean, obviously gel with that line. I mean, in Minnesota, you're there for a few years, you know where the holes are going to be. But yeah, I mean, he gets through that. I mean, he gets 2 steps past the line, and yeah, good luck. I mean, linebackers. Not that they don't want to tackle him, but I mean, you can bring Breece Hall back a little slower. Because, I mean, yeah, you want Breece those first 6 weeks, like Eric said. And I'm not saying he's not playing. There's nothing out there saying that. But, I mean, that's huge for them because, I mean, the Dolphins wanted Dalvin Cook for a reason. And, he took the tour and went and played. I mean, I told Eric he was going to take that, a little bit of money. He should have ended up with a star on his helmet. Just load it up, baby. But no, I mean, that's going to be huge for Breece Hall because, I mean, last year when he got hurt in the Miami game, I mean, he was already – you're talking about that run defense. I mean, he was already trashing them, and he unfortunately got hurt. I mean, at the ACL tear. So, yeah, I mean, for the Jets, look, I mean, I can't stand Aaron Rodgers' body language, but if like I've said to Eric a million times since he signed there, if he does that in New York, this whole honeymoon with the press going to be over real fast because they're going to come at him and they are just going to, again, and I'm not saying like belittle, degrade, whatever, but they're going to come at him in press conference and they're not going to treat it like a politician talking. You don't answer their questions or you go off on some, ayahuasca tangent. They're going to be like, yeah, no, that's not what we're talking about. So, I mean, like his body language better not be that. I mean, in their eyes, that same crap that a lot of times it was in Green Bay. But yeah, I just like the defense too much.
Let's keep moving. This is the one that still I ain't got nobody's picks except for Mike and my own because we just did it 2 nights ago. The NFC East. So, Cortland, I'm going to defer to you because Mike and I aren't changing these. We've made our decision. We're sticking with them. That's what it is. Cortland, what are your thoughts?
So, I mean, quiet's kept, right? I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are the most loaded roster in football. It's ridiculous. Like, when you look at what they added, and then also look at what they had on top of last year was ridiculous. Like you added one of the best cornerbacks in the draft, and Keely Rico. Then you add the best defensive player in the draft, right? And Jalen
Carter,
right? But then you add and then Nolan Smith. Like how they finagled that, I still don't know to this day. And I was in Kansas City, and I was like, how? Right? But then you get DeAndre Swift. You still have Kenny Gainwell. Right, like you got this contingency of talent. You still got the runner-up of MVP who should have won it last year, right? And Jalen Hurts. Like, it's all of these things that they have. They return all those receivers. It's ridiculous. That defense is going to be ridiculous. I still think that they go maybe 13. I think they lose just one less game.
Okay.
One less game than last year. 13-4.
And look, it's not even the Cowboy fan in me that's fighting that. But the only thing I said to Eric the other night is the difference between Kansas City in this run and everything else. Everybody else, it's won Super Bowls most recently. Like even when New England was doing it, or in the AFC Championship every year, or whatever, all that junk. Like they didn't lose coordinators right away. I mean, Eric Bieniemy's finally gone, but Andy Reid had Steve Spagnuolo and Eric Bieniemy
Free
that whole time. And
Patrick
now,
Mahomes entire, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And like the only thing for the Eagles, I said to Eric, I go 12. I mean, look, if I was picking like a freaking Cowboys fan, the Eagles would be like, they'd be,
2-15.
Like 2-15. Yeah, they'd be like 2-15. But I just don't think you can lose both coordinators at that high of a level. I'm not saying the talent's not there, Cortland. I get what you're saying, but I mean, they lost a little bit in the secondary too. And having Kelsey come back for one more year. And like I told Eric the other day, Mailata stays healthy on that left side, obviously playing most season. That's huge. That's huge for them. And you get Kelsey back. But with both coordinators gone, yes, they're going to run their offense and Nick Sirianni's there, but both coordinators bolting, I'm not saying they're definitely not going to the playoffs. Of course they are, but I just don't think when you're saying that, I just think it's always kind of a step back. Cause you even looked at those, the few times the Patriots did lose a coordinator, whether it be Charlie Weiss or Romeo Cornell, they may not have been fully succeeding, but you noticed that side of the ball, no matter, even though Belichick's defensive guy, but either side of the ball, it kind of took a teeny step back.
There was I agree. There was a minor drop.
I think that the talent, yes, at times can trump it, but if you're, and more so defensively, offensively, we all know that athletic ability, if somebody maybe runs the wrong route, Hurts is reading it, he can still get him the damn ball. That part I'm not saying, and the running backs being back too. I mean, yes, that is huge. I'm just saying from a coordinator wise to get on that same page, yes, it has been an off season, but still just one off season. So that was my only difference. But yeah, I mean, it would, it's going to be Cowboys and Eagles. And like Eric said the other night, I didn't even have to say it. It's going to be a Cowboys and Eagles NFC Championship game. Cortland.
Oh, whoa, Mike, what you doing?
What you doing? The other night,
so Mike. I didn't even
hold on, Cortland. Hold on. Excuse me for 1 second, Cortland. Please excuse me.
You said you wanted to.
Hey, Mike. What you and I discussed after the show is our business, bruh. Why you putting our business out on Front Street like
Eric
that,
never
man?
said that. I thought Eric said that, but somebody else said that.
Yeah. Okay. Too late now.
But it should be a Cowboy. It should be an all NFC East championship game anyway.
I don't know about that one, but.
Well, you can say you don't know.
Okay, well, Cortland, I'm gonna tell you right now. I will say this though. Come on, let's be realistic. Outside of Philly and San Francisco and Dallas, who else is coming out of the NFC? Real talk. Come on now.
Oh man.
Yeah, thank you. That's what
we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. Anyway,
don't worry, I'll wait.
But no, seriously. So I do have the Cowboys still winning this. I still have the Cowboys winning this division.
Winning what?
I got the Cowboys
winning what?
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the halftime show is officially over. Thank you, and say goodnight to Cortland Griffin.
No, don't treat him like John. He's speaking. He's poetically speaking. Don't you?
Poetically speaking nonsense.
So seriously, no. I got them winning the division just based on
how.
I think that Dak Prescott being completely healthy all year long. I think he seems motivated. They added Brandon Cooks. Right, they add Stephon Gilmore to that defense.
Okay, Stephon Gilmore, I'll give you. Brandon Cooks.
At front, Michael Parsons sounds like he's motivated.
The defense, yes. We ain't talking about defense. I said it Monday night. I'm saying it again. The wide receiving core in Dallas does not exist. It has CeeDee Lamb. That's it.
You see this hate I put up with Portland?
And Brandon Cooks, who's a perennial 1,000-yard receiver.
Okay.
Like people.
Okay.
Like,
he won't get 1,000 this year.
And then on top of that, if Tony Pollard is healthy,
he'll get ran into the ground.
Him and Deuce Vaughn are going to be a serious 1-2 punch. I think
he'll get ran into the ground. Deuce Vaughn don't even know what he's walking into. Tony Pollard ran into the ground. The same way DeMarco Murray got ran into the ground. The same way all them other running backs in Dallas
ran into the ground
and ran into the ground.
I think these two teams are going to split with each other, but I do think that Dallas is going to eke it out, right? It's not going to be some big gap,
All right.
but they're going to eke it out and win the division.
Okay. I'll see you in January. Matter of fact, I'll see you in December when it doesn't happen.
I'll be here.
I know, but Philly's not there. It's going to be a bummer.
And then here's the crazy thing. I think that the Washington Commanders. Yeah, I wanted to say the Redskins so bad.
Yep, that's 5 push-ups.
But I think that they can win 9 games. I think they go 9-8. I think the Giants go 9-8. I think people have tape on the Giants this year. I think people are not going to sleep on them as a bad roster. There's some kind of bad roster. I had them in 9 games.
Hasn't changed. It's Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley.
They're already sleeping on them.
Yeah, and so like I got those two teams kind of jockeying for. This is going to be a really close division as far as like the top is going to be close. The bottom is going to be who's going to win the game that the other loses. But yeah, this is going to be a tough division, man. Like this is it's 4 good teams. It's not 4 bad. It's not 2 bad teams.
All right, thank you for redeeming yourself. You were allowed to stay for the second time, but
he's allowed to stay because he speaks truth.
Whatever. We'll be back in just a moment. It is the Sports Arena along with our brother, the halftime show's own Cortland Griffin. More with all of us in just a sec. Welcome back to the Sports Arena on a special Wednesday night. Your man Eric Wilson alongside ASU Forks Up, Pitchfork Lunch, Pac-12 Review Zone, Mr. Mike Carrot-Tenuto, and our man, a special guest. He's not even a special. He's just he's our brother. He's he been on the show. He a guest now. He's just a regular member of the family. The halftime show's on Portland Griffin
without asking now.
Exactly. He's just gonna show up. The halftime show's on Cortland Griffin's in the building. All right, let's get through these next 4 because I do want to talk MVP. I do want to talk Super Bowl predictions for all of us here tonight. So let's keep it going. We got now the AFC South. Here is where we all fare. I'm not changing any of my picks. And yes, Cortland, as you can see, I have your Tennessee Titans at 11-6, winning the AFC South. You got a tall order. I'm going to need y'all to get it done this year. All right, I'm just letting you know. I'm going to come find you and touring the AFC South on Mike Patton if this does not come to fruition. Mike, are you changing anything?
You can change that 11-6.
I knew that was coming. Look, I mean, literally when we were talking, when we did this division, I mean, I look at it, I think like Trevor Lawrence, and you saw it. I mean, obviously Cortland like took a step. I mean, sort of with Urban Meyer when Urban Meyer got fired, but then obviously Doug Peterson comes in and gets the quarterback thing. I mean, obviously he's worked with, Andy Reid. He won a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. God, I can't believe I say that.
I can't believe you said that either.
But I mean, they're right there. And I mean, the question, for Tennessee to me is, what are you doing in the offensive line? Because Eric always knows it's not the defense that's the issue. Like the defense to me will never be the issue with Tennessee because they're going to ball out for Mike Vrabel. I mean, defensive coach or not, like those guys just ball out and they're going to play defense. I mean, guys get banged up, but that next man up, like that's where the scouting department obviously earned their money. And the tape they watched, they figured it out because you being a Titans fan, you've seen it. I mean, since Vrabel's been there, the defense is like grown quick. The offense, yeah, if that offensive line is healthy. And like I said, Eric knows Derrick Henry. I mean, I love Derrick Henry. I love when he like stiff arms dudes and their rag dolls. To me, that's the best thing ever. But I mean, like I said, I just think Jacksonville took that step up, and I love what Trevor Lawrence is. I think that, and I'm not taking a shot at Ryan Tannehill. You can ask Eric. I'm one of the few that just I don't understand it. He didn't have an offensive line in Miami, and he basically gets them to the playoffs, gets hurt, they lose to Pittsburgh that year. Like, I mean, it's one of those things where, okay, Miami's like, oh, this guy, he can't play quarterback. He goes to Tennessee, you give him a running game. Look, I mean, am I going to say he's a top 5 quarterback as per like arm talent and everything? No. But can he win you NFL games? Is he a smart cat? Is he good enough to lead an offense to a division title, 2 playoffs? I mean, obviously to a number 1 seed, people say, oh, well, they weren't the real number 1 seed. I'm sorry. They smacked people all year long that year. They were the number 1 seed. I mean, I just give it a little bit to Jacksonville. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you, right? And for everything that everyone keeps, and I understand it, right? But this is one of those, for all of you that own vehicles, motorized vehicles, right? If you look at your passenger side view mirror, it says things in your that appear in this mirror may be closer than they appear, right? That's the Tennessee Titans right now for everyone in Jacksonville, right? We are closer than we appear because it took for Jacksonville to take that leap. It took for us to have our starting quarterback be injured. It took for us to have our number 1 receiver be traded. It took for our defense to have injuries, right? And for us to have an offensive coordinator that was completely inept at his job. Now you have Tim Kelly, and you add DeAndre Hopkins, right, who flourished under Tim Kelly as an offensive coordinator, right? You now have Ryan Tannehill, who's back healthy. You have 2 running backs now, not just 1, 2 running backs. For the first time in a long time for Tennessee, and Tajay Spears and Derrick Henry, right? Traylon Burks looks to be taking a step ahead. Chig Okonkwo looks to be taking a step up. And this defensive front is stout. Mind you, not only do you have Jeffrey Simmons and Danico Autry, the 2 best by the stats, the best interior pass rushing duo in the NFL, but you have Harold Landry back. You get Arden Key added to this contingency. Travis Gibson added in the offseason. And so many more, right? Caleb Murphy, and then the back end, Sean Murphy-Bunting has won a championship. He's got Jordan, right? Kevin Byard is still the best coverage center fielder in the NFL at his position.
Okay, all right, Corlin. I was just trying to get picks.
I'm sorry.
Trying to get in depth.
I'm sorry.
Your team.
I'm sorry.
I let you have your moment, but you about to take the next 20 minutes and tell us about the whole damn 53-man roster.
I still think that Jacksonville wins the division, but only by a half game. I think that they're going to be the team that we lose to, right? And vice versa. It's going to be a duke it out kind of season. And I wouldn't change that, right? I think it's going to be both teams are 10-7, right? And there's going to be a half game. But I still think that they're going to have to see us again, right, in the playoffs.
Okay. Let's go to the NFC South. And, Mike, I'm telling you right now, I'm making a change.
Oh.
I'm making a change.
What's that change?
I am. I'm keeping the Saints at 9-8, but I am flipping the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from 10-7 to 7-10.
Whoa.
And I'm giving the Saints.
Wait, is this because of the whole Mike Evans thing?
Mike, you know me well enough to know that anything is possible. But the grumblings that I have heard living down here have me dropping them from 10-7 to 7-10.
You think Mike Evans might be gone?
That still remains to be seen. But like I said, when you live down here and you are in the business that we are in, sometimes you hear things. Everybody has their, things that things that I have been told, which I am not at liberty to share at this point. But things that I have been told have led me to believe that there are some changes happening within that locker room.
Well, his agent, I'm not asking you. I mean, that's fine.
Right. No, I know what you're saying.
One thing I saw, his agent came out because, again, I saw an email saying that it was like the Cowboys. I don't know, I got to think of the Cowboys and 2 other teams said that they could definitely be in on Mike Evans and what it would do for each team. So I was like, holy crap. But I mean, and this is the last year of his deal. So, right. If I'm correct on his agents, but yeah, they're at a total standstill. So look, that cat, Mike, if his agent is saying it, and granted, yes, because he's PO'd, I will say this, man. Mike Evans, even when he was at Texas A&M, got into the pros. Dude just keeps catching. I mean, Ray mentioned it last year too, but it's true. I mean, guy just keeps catching balls, like you said, chunking up the yards. Eric, his career that he's done, he'd been quiet about it, done his thing. But hey, man, you don't want to give a receiver now a few extra bucks. He's like, all right. So yeah, I mean, gosh, if somehow like by next week they trade him to the Cowboys or something, oh my God, it's over. It's over for you.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but
it might not. But hey, Corley, that's another thing too. Like I said, I think you were on the show last week. We were talking about with everything with Jonathan Taylor. Like if he wasn't on the PUP list, but if he's playing, all of a sudden, no, he gets dinged in a game and his shoulders, it's a week. He's like, oh no, it's still really bad. That 1 week becomes 3 weeks because, well, you ain't paying me, so I'm going to make sure I'm like 100,000% before I come back.
I don't think that Mike Evans is going to do that because the man has had a streak of 1,000 yards every year.
Oh no. I'm not. I'm with you on that. But yeah, I don't know if I want to.
I agree with Eric though. Yeah, I agree with Eric though. I could see that being flipped to 7 and 10. Only thing that I would change is if you're going to flip them to 7 and 10, then Atlanta, I would add 2 wins to Atlanta's total.
So you're saying Atlanta's going to sweep the Bucks and go finish 8 and 9?
Yes.
I got Atlanta at 9 and 8. I'm high on Desmond Ridder.
Okay, Cortland. You know what? Cortland? I'll run that one.
Because I think that defense is much improved. I think that Bijan and Algier are going to be a dangerous duo. Do I trust Ridder? No, because I think they're going to go get a quarterback next year. But I trust that defense enough, and I trust Arthur Smith as an offensive mind and the weapons that he went and got. I trust that they can beat the.
All right, fair enough. Mike, you making any changes?
Like my saying,
we got 2 more divisions.
Yeah, I had Atlanta. Wait, no, you changed mine. I had Tampa at 10 and 7.
You did? Okay, I'll put you at 10. Listen, I may have. I don't know, but here I'll do it right. I'm just gonna make sure. Mike,
it says 9 and
10
8.
and 7, Tampa.
Oh no, you had him at 10 and 6.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you
I
did.
have 10 and 7, and I'm flipping.
So with those rumblings, yeah. I mean, I think Baker's actually going to show out. And to Corlin's point, yeah. I mean, getting Mike Evans a ball is one thing. So I mean, that they ain't going to franchise him because it's dumb to franchise a receiver because you're going to be paying him what, $18 million for $17 million the next year. But I'm gonna. It's hard for. I'm gonna stay put. I think somehow Atlanta and Tampa finish with the same record. I think Cortland's gonna be surprised by Desmond Ridder. I'm not saying he's gonna be like God's savior, but that kid got some game.
All right.
Hey, and add a loss to everybody on that top row for the Saints. And take a win out the win column because they lose in week 1. I don't care what nobody said.
Okay. Anyhow, keep moving.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
AFC North. And where I have them is where I'm leaving them. Not changing a thing.
Okay. I'm just gonna put it this way. I got the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. I got them winning that division at 12 and 5. I do have the Pittsburgh Steelers finishing last in the division at 9 and 8.
Oh no.
I have the Browns at 9 and 8. I got the Bills, not the Bills, I'm sorry, the Bengals at 10 and 7.
Okay. Hold on, Eric. Cortland says a lot of smart stuff, but as our great brother Alex used to say, you need to be drug tested.
Here's the thing, right? So
go ahead, give it to me. There's no way Cleveland's finishing ahead of Pittsburgh. No way.
You don't think that Cleveland can win just 9 games and that Pittsburgh, being the young team that they are, wins 9 games? Like,
if both win 9 games, then
it's a toss-up, right? Like,
they're not. But I think Pittsburgh.
And the standard, I think they go a half. I think they win, like, again, it's like one of those half game things. But I have Baltimore in the AFC Championship game. I'm not budging off of that. I think what they added, Lamar Jackson has no more excuses. Like Lamar Jackson has no more excuses for me. Now you have the weapons outside, you have the defense, your running backs are healthy, right? And you are Lamar Jackson, unanimous MVP, Lamar Jackson, right? You got your money, now you got to go ball out. I think he does it. I think he proves the doubters and the haters wrong, and he gets to at least the AFC Championship game.
I mean, I got him going to the playoffs. I'm not saying that can't happen. I just
and I think Burrow, and I think people catch up to Burrow and the boys, man. I think they,
dude, they got the look. The difference though is, and this is why I have Baltimore at 11-6, because I think it's early season kind of growing pains. I'm with you. I love the OBJ signing, Zay Flowers. I mean, I even drafted him late in a freaking fantasy league because, to your point, it is a true guy on the outside, but he can also run those deep ends. And they still have Mark Andrews. I said to Eric the other night, it's a tight. I mean, he doesn't care. He's getting paid. Nobody talks about, not too many people outside of Baltimore talk about Mark Andrews' core. I mean, think about it. I mean, yeah, and Kelsey, rightfully so. When Kittle was
Travis
healthy,
Kelce and George Kittle.
Right. And then Darren Waller kind of started to go there, but then Darren Waller hit the injury bug. We'll see what he does going forward now with the Giants. But yeah, Richards, I mean, you talk about a blanket for a quarterback. I mean, that's been the guy. And I mean, it's not like he's just dumping it off. I mean, he'll hit that cat downfield, and we've seen it, obviously. And I get what you're saying. I just think it's kind of early season, growing pains-ish. But, I mean, the talent in general, but with Chase, Higgins, and Boyd, like, dude, obviously.
It's not the offense, though. It's not the offense, though, Mike. It's the defense. They lost. For everything that people are saying that the Buffalo Bills lost on defense and all these things, right? The Bengals lost a lot on defense as well. And so
I 100% agree, but none of the other analysts besides you, me, and maybe Eric, and maybe 5-7 people care about defense because the rules aren't set that way. So yes, when you lose guys, it makes a difference. I mean, look. Kansas City hasn't paid Chris Jones yet. He just saw the money Bosa got, right? And Kansas City's like, we're
Kansas City. I know is kicking themselves.
Now it is different because he's an end, so you're not going to pay a tackle as much as you pay an end. We'll get into that later. But I'm just saying, for him not to report, but you look at the defense, if you can't get that pressure and stop up the middle, I'm with you. But you don't got enough DBs on a team. I mean, yeah, they are NFL caliber. Eric knows how I feel, but again. You don't have enough DBs on a team to double team all that Cincinnati has. So those outscore you. Those guys stay healthy. Those cats. And again, I have no dog in the fight. I'm not like Megan. I mean, at least I'm allowed in Cincinnati. Megan ain't allowed in Cincinnati. So, I mean, I might not be allowed in Columbus, as Eric knows, because God knows I'd vomit all over everything just because it's disgusting. But that being said, it's to me, it's just outscoring them. And yeah, the defense can have to make plays. And my point about Kansas City is, look at all those young dudes that were in the secondary last year. I mean, granted,
those young dudes were also
they weren't that young dudes, but that's because it was a first year guy, second year guy. But I mean, to your guy Mike Patton, they played secondary in a conference where secondaries get drafted. That'd be the Pac-12. So
all right, that's enough. See, he had to do it. He had to do it.
Mike Patton,
we were going good too.
We both of you.
All I'm saying is they went young. Okay. And they did that. I'm just saying for Cincinnati, yes. Might they have to outscore somebody like Baltimore? 100%, because defensively they can make stops, but you still got to stop Burrow on that offense. And when we're talking about the receivers, of course, let's not forget about Joe Mixon, because he had a hell of a year last year too, with the way those guys are moving the ball around. So let's not
forget about T. Higgins either.
Okay. That's what I said.
That's what we can give a shout out. A Nashville native, T. Higgins.
That's what I said. I said T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Boyd is the whole reason.
All right, last division. Here we go. Last division, NFC North. Sports Reporter Without Pay was very happy that everybody gave the Detroit Lions 10 wins. I'm not changing anything on this.
I'm changing.
Oh, okay, Mike. Go ahead. What you changing?
I kind of talked myself into it the other night when I was giving you a hard time joking around on the air. About who you picked against the Cowboys. But I am changing the Vikings. I say the Vikings go 10-7.
What?
Okay. All right. Cortland, when you see this, what do you think? Because we still got 2 more things to talk about tonight on the sports.
Yeah, the only thing I got the issue with is John's board except for Detroit. That's crazy. We don't know nobody outside of Daniil Hunter and Harrison Smith. You can't name me 3 players off of that Vikings defense, man. Like they're not going to be good this year. Their secondary is not going to be good. I can book it. It's not going to be good.
Wow, you said my 2 words on my show that John always loves to hear come out of my mouth.
Yes, book it. Shout out to my brother Eric Wilson.
Wow.
You can book it. They're not going to be good. Right? Now, the offense is going to score. The offense is going to score. They're going to score. Like Addison is going to get his. Jettis is going to get his. Hockenson is going to get his. Right? Alex, I like to call him Alexander the Great Madison. Right? He's going to get his as well. But that defense is not going to be able to stop a nosebleed. This ain't going to be last year where they can eke out 13 wins and win them by 3 points.
Hey,
right?
Man, I got it. Wait, hold on. Time out. I will say defensively, like you said, Harrison Smith at safety, but their nose tackle, the Harrison Phillips, I couldn't remember his name.
Is he a Pac-12 guy, Mike?
No. Oh, but Byron, you know who is though that they got? Byron Murphy Jr. out of UW. Yeah, out of UW. But I mean, since you asked, I'm just saying, like, I'm with you. It is a teeny step down, but
a teeny step.
To your point, they will score. I'm just saying they can stop the run. Those guys up front can stop the run.
Yeah, but in your division, you have to now, like, and this is why, like, when I look at these divisions, I look at the division that you're in. You have to play those teams more than you have to play anybody else, right? You have to now go out and stop Green Bay and Jordan Love, who looked amazing, right? You have to go out and stop DJ Moore and those players. You have to go out there and stop the number 1 scoring offense, right, for the first half of the season in Detroit. You got to go out and stop those guys. I just don't see them even competing, right? I have Green Bay second. I got Detroit winning the division. And I got the Bears going in third, right? And the Vikings will be bringing up the rear. Kirk Cousins going to San Francisco.
I got lunch that says you are way off on that, and not even to drive Eric crazy. I just know that, like, they can outscore people. Like, that's like they're able to outscore people.
Listen, we'll see. Time will tell. Let's get to our last 2 topics. Cortland, since you're our guest, I'm gonna go to you first, my brother. Who, sir, do you think is going to be the NFL MVP this year?
So my easy answer is Patrick Mahomes. I think that's the easy answer. The dude is just, it doesn't matter what you do. We've seen it since he stepped foot as a starter in the NFL. He can do it all. He's the only quarterback I feel like in the league that you can pencil in for 4,540 touchdowns, right? The only one that you can do it with confidence. But my other ones, right? I got 3 players. Aaron Rodgers, right? Just to be fair, has won 2, right, in the last 5 years. Lamar Jackson. And then I'm gonna give you a dark horse. I think even though I just said what I said, right? I think Kirk Cousins can win it if the Vikings go against the grain and end up being competitive in that division and win it. He could definitely win it because they're gonna go out there and score. Like he's gonna have about 4,000 yards and 30 plus. Like it could happen. So.
Cortland, yeah. Eric ain't gonna come out of his house if that happens.
Why? He can win a regular season award. He ain't winning nothing else.
Yeah, he can win a Super Bowl though.
If he get that one, good for him. Hey, if Kirk Cousins wins MVP of the league, guess what? Congratulations. You ain't winning nothing else. So that's okay.
The only way that they can do that is if they play every playoff game before 4:00.
Exactly. Thank you. Mike Harrison-Udo, who's your MVP this year?
You know, I get what Cortland's saying. I mean, obviously we say Mahomes, like, yeah, you can say he's the best quarterback in the league. People will debate you on that. That's fine, whatever. But for this season, look at this season and what I expect him to do. Micah Parsons. No, I'm just kidding. Not Micah Parsons. I just want to see Eric laugh. No, Justin Herbert. Because I looked at I think it was Caesar Sportsbook odds, guys, and it was he's like a 35-1, 40-1. So that's look. So and I guess that's James. That's Ebo. That's James Ebo. That's a Chargers fan.
Yes.
But
yes.
But here's the thing: like, if they go 12-5, right, 13-4, And you got Herbert with, you're talking about Cousins having 4,000 yards. You have Herbert with like 4,800 yards, 5,000 yards, and, say 35, say like 40 touchdowns and like, 7 interceptions. Like that, I mean, for a regular season, like that's not hard to do. Then chances are they could be home for the first playoff game. They could have won the division. Like, I think Mahomes is going to have a great season. I'm not going to be nuts like John and have to be drug tested every day to think that Patrick isn't going to survive, without Tyreek Hill and this and that. But yeah, I mean, again, Mahomes being the great, like, yeah, he to Cortland's point, he'd be the favorite. But I literally, I'm gonna go with Herbert. A dark horse though, and this is crazy, but a dark horse for me, Eric, would actually be, because to your point, like we were talking about the Giants, would be Saquon Barkley.
Oh wow.
Okay. All right.
I want to have a picture with him real quick. A picture of him on a shirt and just says Mr. 33%. And the 33% is what he was to the offense last year. He goes up to more than 33%. Like, again, respect the running back. They're people too, but I'm just saying Saquon could be a second year in Brian Dable's system. Daniel Jones know where his bread's buttered and where his $140 million contract came from anyway, right, Eric?
Exactly.
I will say this, Mike, to your point about Justin Herbert, in that Kellen Moore offense, which you saw, right, close firsthand, right? I think with that ability, he could go for 6,000. Like, you might be on to something.
Herbert, they got to run the ball more. I mean, Herbert, you're right. In this day and age of video games, I can see that, but I'll also say to you, like, you got to give Eckler the ball. And giving Eckler the ball, I think it helps that cause even more. And if it's little dump off screens, I get that counts for yards too. So yes, but I mean, I
was just throwing that out there. I'm sorry, Eric.
No, it's good.
No, that's all right. So here you go. I'm gonna give you my MVP this year, and to everything that Cortland said, clearly you want to give it to Mahomes because he is that dude. Wherever 15 is, listen, that team has just been where they're gonna be. But in all seriousness, I really feel like the MVP this year is the guy who, as Mike said earlier, is in a no excuse, or Cortland even said no excuse type year. I think the MVP this year is Lamar Jackson. Now Lamar has everything he's wanted in years past and has been unsuccessful in having due to injury, management, front office, whatever. Well, now that he has, the goalpost hasn't been pushed back. They finally left it where it is and said, okay, Lamar, now prove to us that you can succeed. Prove to us that you can get to the next level. Because we done put obstacle in front of obstacle in front of obstacle in front of you, and you've been able to surpass our expectation. Well, now you got something. Let's see what you can do. So he is my MVP. Of course, I'm always going to go with my guy, number one, Jalen Hurts, just because last year was a prove-it year, and look what he did. 14-3. He was out for 2 games. Just basically, along with the defense, got where we needed to be and came up short. We didn't lose. So now is it going to be angry Jalen Hurts? I don't know if Jalen Hurts can get angry, but if he does, everybody in trouble. I'm just going to leave it at that. And I was being facetious. My one dark horse that I really want to be serious about, and I said this actually, Cortland, on your show, the halftime show, Brian Robinson Jr. for the Washington Commanders. I feel that young man is going to set the tone this year and kind of help reestablish the running back position because of what he is going to be able to do. We saw at the second half of the season what he was capable of through everything that he had happened to him off the field. I think he's going to continue that momentum on the field this season. I think we're going to see that from him. So, no, truly, my dark horse is Brian Robinson Jr., but I'm going with Lamar Jackson. All right, gentlemen, last question before we get out of here tonight, and thank you both for being a part of this. I need to know. Mike Patton, you ain't said nothing but a word, brother. You ain't said nothing but a word. So, last question. Gentlemen, Mike Caratanudo, Super Bowl prediction. Who you got?
Well, for the first time in many years, and it's true because I have not picked them to go to the Super Bowl in quite a few years. On the AFC side, I'm taking the Bills. Everybody's kind of rolling their eyes at the Bills. I think we could get I'm kind of with Cortland. I mean, I think we get a Bills Chiefs AFC Championship. To me, it's either Bills Chiefs, Bills Bengals, or Bills Ravens AFC Championship. That's what I mean. That's how I feel. But I'm going Bills, and I'm going with my Cowboys. I think that defense. I think Dan Quinn in his third season has them PO'd. And to Cortland's point about not stopping stuff, look, Massey Smith looked good. It's preseason. Again, Eric, we know not to get too excited because there are teams, and I'm not picking on Ray because he's not here. Detroit Lions went undefeated in the preseason. The Browns kind of did, and then they went through seasons where they won no games after that. So, again, I just think third year under Dan Quinn, that defense is just it's going to be maddening and just great fun to watch. And I'm going Bills Cowboys, baby.
Mike, I don't need a reminder of the '90s, man. Growing up, and I don't need a high school reminder of what Bills Cowboys was.
I'm just saying it's coming back, dog.
I don't need that. So, Cortland, who you like?
Man, I couldn't pick this one, but I'm gonna run through mine really quick. And so my long shot one is the Baltimore Ravens versus Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seattle Seahawks have a great defense. I think Geno can do it once they get to the playoffs. That they added so many things on the offensive side. They're going to have a healthy running backs, and then Baltimore. I got them in the AFC Championship game, so I feel like they can make it to the Super Bowl. My second one that has the best chance is the New York Jets. Shout out to Mama Kara Tenuto. The Jets gonna make it, and the Dallas Cowboys. I just think both of those teams are high powered. That's going to be a fun game. That will be a fun Super Bowl to watch. And then I got a rematch, man. My one that I think that's going to happen is the rematch, Kansas City versus San Francisco. I think San Francisco finally gets over the hump. I think Kansas City makes another run at a Super Bowl. Kansas City wins it 3-peat.
Cortland, you are not allowed on this show ever again.
That's a me answer. I love yes, he is. That's a beautiful answer. He gave 3 scenarios for Super Bowls. I can't complain about that.
All right. So for me, listen, first off, shout out to my brother, Jake Rongholt, because he posted earlier today his predictions and said he wants to see the Eric Wilson versus, shout out to our man, Mookie Hawkins, Buffalo beat writer, Super Bowl, Eagles, Bills. And I would love that too. Me, Shady McCoy, Jake Rongholt, Mookie, we'd love to see that. If I'm thinking in terms of do I want to do a house divided, of course it would be the Eagles versus the Jets. First off, to beat up on Mike in the NFC Championship game, that'd be a phenomenal thing. But to then have to go up against Mama Kara Tenuto's New York Jets, it would be something that my heart, I don't know, man. I'd be torn right there. But my pick, my pick is this. I feel like finally last year we saw 2 African-American quarterbacks playing the Super Bowl. I think we're going to see that again. One is a guy who's been there in Jalen Hurts, and the other one is going to be Lamar Jackson. I actually have the Eagles versus the Baltimore Ravens in Vegas, and Lamar Jackson gets his shine on for a moment, but yet the Eagles will remain victorious and get our second Super Bowl championship. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are our predictions. Like I said, the season starts tomorrow. Huge shout out to the halftime show's own Cortland Griffin for jumping on the show with us tonight. To everybody else in the sports arena, I'm going to need y'all's picks so I can get this done for tomorrow. I need to know who you're picking, whether it be Kansas City, whether it be Detroit. But ladies and gentlemen, football is back, which means, as you know, Monday nights are going to get real interesting. 10 p.m. Eastern with the sports arena. Who knew I knew is back, and just talking about these games, doing what we do. And like I say each and every week, although I will say this, there is 1 week out of the season thus far that I might pick the Dallas Cowboys, because y'all know me. There are 2 teams I cheer for every Sunday: my Philadelphia Eagles and whoever's playing Mike Kara Tenuto's Dallas Cowboys. We'll see how the season goes.
To beat him at night last year. Pick Kirk Cousins to beat him at night.
I did. You must have said something for me to really decide.
I've been saying, because that's not at night.
He said he did have picks. He's like, I'm picking against the Cowboys. It pains me. And And yeah, Tyree's like, don't you call him first cousins? You don't get to call him first cousins.
You're right. I don't. We'll see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for tuning in, chiming in. Much love to everybody. We will see y'all Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you check out my man, the halftime show zone, Cortland Griffin. This brother's got shows pretty much every day of the week. He doing it big up there in Nashville. My brother, hey, stay blessed, stay safe. Much love.
Appreciate
Peace.
it.